Happy Mother's Day. So it's Mother's Day and the weather outside has been really kind of chilly and rainy. Not really the kind of weather to get outside and put plants out. Last weekend we managed to get about 23 or 4 tomato plants put in at the community garden, and I think I planted 6 or 7 here at home. I'll show you some pictures of that. This weekend, I have found myself needing to do some transplanting of seedlings in a big way. I have some 6-packs that I had started some seeds in, and unfortunately this 6-pack, I don't even know what kind of pepper this is, so I'm just transplanting them into solo cups with pepper ? Because I don't know what we got here. I'm sure it's a pepper I'm gonna enjoy, but I can't make any promises to anyone else. And then I still got a few 6-packs of tomatoes that are ready to be put in that next level. These aren't looking too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and transplant them into the bigger cups because I think they're gonna need it. We're not ready to put them outside yet. And then over behind me, I've got a flat that is half basil and half tomatillos. They're ready to go outside. They're like, please let me go outside. And it's just too chilly to put them out there. So I'm gonna move them up in a cup. Down low here, I got a little more eggplant, a few more tomatoes, and then back here I got some banana peppers. Fortunately, the label didn't get lost on those. Banana peppers. And more poblanos, so I'm glad I know what those are. But these peppers, I'm not sure what they are, so they might be a habanero pepper. I'm pretty sure my jalapenos didn't take off. I think I had some old seed. So I'm down here just doing seedlings right now, thinking a lot about Mother's Day. So to do these seedlings, I've actually got, in a couple of cases here, really good seed germination. I put 2 seeds in each cell, and so I'm finding that in some cases I have 2 that I gotta separate out. And so far I'm finding that if I just kind of work the roots apart a little bit and don't rush it, I'm finding that I'm able to untangle without ripping too much, enough roots for each plant. So I just separated those 2. And I just put a little dirt in my red solo cup, put it in the bottom, give it a little smush, pick up my pepper. I'm trimming the bottom 2 leaves off. Those are those first leaves that come out. And I'm resting it in there, filling the edge of the cup, kind of holding the pepper plant so it doesn't fall over on me. Pressing the soil in. Give this one some water. And then boom, setting them up, gonna give them some water. Hopefully they'll freshen up. This little guy, take its bottom 2 leaves off. Since I did a pretty good root disturbance, I don't mind taking a little foliage off anyway. But this one didn't get too bad of a root disturbance. I'll just try to set it in there without creating too much more disruption. A little root disturbance encourages the roots to branch out and grow more anyway, so I never worry about a little bit of root disturbance. Still working in my basement though. Normally this time of year, I'm hardening all the plants off about this time, but this spring's been a little bit on the chilly side. Getting low on dirt. Got 3 more mystery peppers. So how are you doing this Mother's Day? If you have parents in your family, or if you have parents, particularly if you are a mother or have a mother. I'm sure today is full of all types of emotion and worry and maybe even some anxiety and expectation. Cut a few of these leaves off. Make sure I get the right ones. Those new leaves that pop out first. Cotyledon leaves. Trim those leaves. And there's a little one. Alright, still have the lights set up in the basement. In the front here you can see a few peppers that I just transplanted into cups. I gotta go up top. A little step stool here, some water, a little miracle grow. Alright, top floor. Got a whole bunch of peppers up here. It's either poblano peppers or I don't know peppers up here. And these little guys are up here. They were just transplanted last night. Second shelf here, I've got some basil that's in pretty good shape, and a little further up from the basil, some tomatillos, thank goodness, because I only have 2 outside hardening off. Here I got a couple pieces of dill. At first I was real worried when my dill seedlings didn't go, but then I just had a whole bunch of dill volunteer outside. And a little further up, I can't even see what that is. I think it's one of my herbs. It needs to go outside. Here are the peppers I just finished. And now, on the lower rack, in the foreground here, I got some eggplant and some tomatoes or peppers. I don't know what I got. Oh, yeah, some habanero peppers. Very cool. And then tomatoes in the middle. And then all the way over here, some banana peppers and poblano peppers, and it looks like a little runaway chamomile plant in there too, so that'll be great. Well, the light's not so great down here, but I've got a little potting station set up just by the grow lights, and so I'm gonna go ahead and move these tomatoes over, and as many of these things behind me as I can today. It's a easygoing, relaxing, nice rainy day job. All right, so I'm gonna move these tomatoes to a slightly larger container. I haven't even started hardening these tomatoes off yet. And I think normally by now in May, I'm actually, you know, having hardened off the tomatoes and maybe put most of them outside. We've put a few outside, but and the ones at home seem to be doing just fine. But I haven't put all the tomatoes outside by a long shot, and I haven't even started hardening them all off. So I started a few tomatoes a little later because I knew a friend who gardens in St. Louis was gonna want a few, and so these are their tomatoes. And so I'm trying to make them nice for my friend. And then another friend who gardens here in St. Louis, they suggested that I go ahead and, you know, start seeds at different times. That way they come ready at different times, and, you know, depending on the weather, they can go out sooner or later, you know, because you never know if you're going to have a late spring. And it feels like we're going to have a late spring. So I got one little tomato dicotyledon in here, so I'm going to stick this back under the light and see if this little guy will take off. Maybe it will. I didn't mark what kind it is, so I will forget, but these were marked Armenian variety. This little guy right here. I'll put a link into the description of where I get the tomato seeds from. So, when I do the tomatoes, if I've got more than one that germinates, I do try to separate them out. The tomatoes get a little more linked, so sometimes that's tougher. I hope I did okay here. Tomato plants are pretty resilient, it seems like. So I can strip off those bottom couple leaves, plant it pretty deep into the cup. So I'll just put a little bit of dirt in there. And like, I'll take this one here. I got a root ball in my hand. And I'll strip off these bottom leaves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury it deep, and that stem will give us some more roots. So I just support the stem a little bit. The root ball's in the bottom, resting on a little dirt. Hopefully this dirt's going to work. I generally just get whatever dirt is on sale. Give it some pressing so that it makes contact with the stem. And there we go. I have a few roots with this little one. It was caught up with a larger plant competing with it. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try to plant this one. Tomatoes are generally all right, so got this little guy in there. Hopefully it'll take off. Cut off the bottom couple of leaves because you want to put those tomato plants in there a little bit on the deep side. Not trying to injure the stem or anything, but you want to make sure that the soil makes contact with the root ball and the stem. And you're ready to go. Trim the leaves. Support that stem a little bit. And there we go. That one's not supporting so well. I probably should have put it a little deeper. Maybe I'll stop putting so much dirt in the bottom since these plants are a little taller. That worked out very nicely. That last one didn't need any dirt in the bottom. I shouldn't have put some in there. Slip it in the cup. Support it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 6 of them. All right, so I'm going to pull this tray out, rest these in there, and give them a little water as I go. I love doing this in the basement because if I spill a little water, it's not a big deal. Oh, I know, there's electric here, but... yeah. Got it. Put it under the light. Give it a day or two to recover from being jostled so much. And then in a few days, if the weather's nice outside, I can start hardening them off a little bit, a few hours in the afternoon, evening. All right, got some more tomatoes.